Okay, so recently I decided to make a purchase. Now, this whole thing I want to say up the top is from the opinion and from the perspective of somebody that has never owned a drone. I've never really operated a drone. I owned a drone for like all of a day, immediately crashed it and was scared for like a year to buy another one. So everything I'm going to say is just from an outsider's perspective, not anybody that's fluent in drones, knows a lot about drones. I'm a beginner drone person. I was told this was a good beginner drone. So all of what I'm going to say is just coming from the perspective of somebody that doesn't know a lot about them. So I'm not going to get into the specs or what's good or what's great. I'm just going to show you what I liked about it and the things that I've been using it for and just how it's been working for me personally. And if you're a beginner trying to get into drones, how this could potentially be something that might be a good entry point like it was for me. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. So I went out and I got the Mavic Mini 2, a small little 4K 249 gram drone. And the nice thing about the 249 grams, I'll say this at the top, that means you don't have to register it. It is under the weight restriction, so you don't have to worry about getting like the special license or whatever it entails. I went ahead and registered mine anyways just to be safe and got the little license and everything, but you don't have to. Another reason I like the Mini 2, and I'm going to say this at the top, is because if you're someone that travels and does photography or videography or anything like that, like I've been doing the last couple months, this thing is a perfect little travel companion and it pairs really well with the rest of my mobile film and videography, photography equipment. So let's talk about the Mini 2, right? Again, as somebody who's never used a drone, this was my entry point, and overall, I can say just at the top, I have been extremely satisfied with the footage, the handling, and the overall performance of this little thing. So right at the top, the specs of this drone, the most important specs in my opinion, it shoots in 4K 30 FPS, 2.7K 60 FPS, and 1080p 60 FPS as well. It has 4 or 5 different quick shots, no active track, which was a big one that I was kind of disappointed about. Again, if you want something like active track, that's where like you select the target and the camera kind of stays on it as you're flying. It does have the active track capabilities in the quick shots, but for other than that, you have to kind of keep on the target manually. Go up to 6 miles in distance. It says 10 kilometers. I have not tested that. I have gone maybe a mile, started to panic, and flew it back. And I'm not sure about the height. I've gone up to 120 meters. That's like, you can set things in the app about how high and how far you want the drone to go. I kept mine at 120 because again, I started to panic. So the quality right off the gate, right? You have 2 ways to shoot with this thing. You have the auto settings, which is where this does like all the ISO, the shutter speed, the white balance, everything is automatic for the camera that's in here, which here's a photo, right, in the photography mode of it, no editing, no post-production, just auto settings, flew it up, took a picture of a sunset. And overall, that quality is exactly what I want from a camera like this, where I don't have to do a lot if I don't have time, and I don't have to sit there and adjust and fiddle with the settings, and it's still gonna be a really good photo, enough to where at least it gives me something to work with in post. Now with video, all this video, I did not color grade, and it is all the auto settings. Now, I have shot things with it, with doing manual settings and color grading and stuff in post, but right out the gate in 4K, I pretty much shot everything in 4K. This thing is really, really good with the auto settings. I feel like for a small drone, it does a really good job of picking up the auto white balance, adjusting the ISO, and adjusting the shutter speed for clear and pretty good footage overall. Now, personally, as I've been using it more, I've been starting to dive into the like manual settings and then getting ready to color grade in post and throwing on filters and things like that. You can also get ND filters. It's like 50 bucks for like a set of 6, I think, on Amazon that will fit on this if you wanted to, depending on, you know, again, what you're using this drone for and how you're using it. I have not invested in those yet, but it's definitely on my list. One thing I will say that you should invest in right off the bat, and mine actually arrive today, is dust guards for where these propellers are. I noticed flying this in the woods with lots of pollen and lots of dirt and dust that I was starting to notice that they started to build up in these little rotors in here, and it made me a little worried. So I went ahead and got some nice light blue little dust guards for those because I feel like that definitely is something that is helpful. Let's talk about what you get in the package, right? I had filmed an unboxing video a couple months ago. I deleted that footage, so I do not have the box. But if you do the Fly More combo, comes in at $600. What you get is this nice handy dandy drone, the propeller guard, the controller, obviously, 3 batteries instead of the opposed 1 with the power bank. You get extra propellers, screwdrivers, extra joysticks for the controller, and then you get the DJI carrying case. Now, I would show you that carrying case, but I gave mine to my sister-in-law because as somebody who is a channel mainly about bags, that's why this is a little bit of a offshoot endeavorment for me talking about a drone. I have plenty of bags that I can use to carry my film equipment, and this actually fits really nicely in the current bag I'm using, the Wandrd Pouch 11 liter. Yes, the 11 liter. I'm able to fit this, my M50, and all my other mobile travel photography and videography gear because of the size of this. But that DJI bag, if you're not somebody that has a photography bag or a camera bag already, it is a very nice shoulder sling. It fits everything in there, super nice. I did test it out. If that's what you're gonna end up using, it's not a bad bag by any stretch. I just know that I would never use that solely. I'm never gonna take just my drone out, right? I'm always gonna take extra gear and stuff. But if you're just looking for a drone, that is not a bad bag to use. I think the Fly More combo is 100% the way to go. On any DJI product you're gonna get, you should always get like the Creator combo or the Fly More combo because it's like an extra $100 most of the time, and you're always gonna get more bang for your buck. You'll never be able to buy all these extra accessories for less than what you would have bought them if they were included in the extra Creator or Fly More combo. A good example of that is I have the DJI Pocket 2, which I do all of my studio recording on just because it's handy, it's nifty, it's 4K, and it's super convenient that it comes with a lapel mic. And the Creator combo comes with something like the lapel mic and all the extra accessories as opposed to the regular Creator combo with it where it just comes with like just the camera, right? The Creator combo comes with tons more. Same with the Fly More. So if you're gonna invest in this, I would say just go ahead and just get the $600 Fly More and then immediately get the $50 2-year DJI refresh, because if you crash it, they replace it. What I understand, but also I'm gonna try really hard not to crash this one. Ease of flying. Again, I've never flown a drone before, so I was really hesitant. I've been hesitant for a year to buy one after I'd accidentally crashed the original Mavic Mini that I had bought. I flew it, literally immediately hit a tree, didn't know what I was doing, panicked, returned it, and was like, never again. This thing has been so easy to fly. It is easy and simple. What makes it so nice is this controller. Everything you need is included in here. You actually, unlike the old one, this pops up, and this is where you put your phone, and the cable you need is inside of here, right? So you can do Android, what is it, the micro USB-C, the regular USB-C, whatever they are, and then the iPhone, right? So you just plop your phone right here, plug it in, turn the controller on, turn the little drone on, put the app on, and then boom, you're pretty much ready to go. The joysticks stay at the bottom, so you never have to worry about carrying those or losing those. I love that feature because before they used to be like buried on the front of the controller, and I feel like it was really hard. But this controller honestly allows you to do pretty much everything you need without even having to really touch anything on the app in terms of when you're already flying. The app is loaded with tons of features and functions that you can adjust, and there's so many of them that I'm not going to get into it because I haven't really gotten into all of it, but you can adjust like your return to home distance, which is the distance that your drone will fly to before returning back to the GPS spot that it took off from, your maximum flight distance, your maximum flight altitude. All of that is changed inside the app. I would suggest checking out a professional drones video if you want to, if you're like, okay, this guy can fly it and he seems like he doesn't know what he's doing. That's accurate. If you're thinking that right now, I don't know what I'm doing half the time, most of the time. Then I would go watch another video of like how to use it, like one of the 30-minute tutorials that I watched like 6 times because I was panicking. But this controller has a lot. You have a button up here that is record and take photo, which is nice. So you just immediately click that instead of having to click on the actual screen. You have a little knob here. This can be changed by a function button right there. Whoop, where is it? Right there. Right? And between that, you can change what that does. I've kept mine to control the gimbal up and down because that makes it easy to adjust it in flight if I want to look down, look up, adjust it at a certain angle, whatever it is. You have the switch between like camera and photography, or video and photography right here. And then you have a return to home, a power, and then the 3 different modes that this thing flies in, which is cinema, which is basically grandma mode, normal, which is for, I guess, normal modes, which is also what you have to have it in order to do the quick shots, and then sport mode, which is the mode I never fly it in because it is super fast and scary and I don't want to crash. Another thing I want to point out is the batteries say 30 minutes of life. I will tell you from an honest opinion, I've seen a lot of reviews where like 30 minutes of life, 30 minutes of life. It's not 30 minutes of life, right? Because at 20%, your thing starts beeping like a fire alarm going off in your college campus dorm, and it makes you return it to home, right? Also, you can set it up where at 20% on the battery life, it automatically returns to home. You end up getting about 23 to 24 minutes per battery, because even though it says 30 minutes, that back half of the battery, the last like 5 to 6 minutes, is really it just beeping at you uncontrollably, telling you, hey, you're basically about to run out of battery, which is another reason why I'm scared to go the full distance, because honestly, even though it's 30 minutes, you use more in sport mode, which is faster to get it home quicker. The thing is that like by the time you get it out to that distance, you're basically almost already out of battery. So the only time I would really want to go that like full 6 miles, if there's something that's actually worth going that distance to get. But overall, I would say expect 24-ish minutes from the batteries, which still isn't that bad. A lot of the footage I've been taking, you know, when you're still getting used to it, you're going to burn through these batteries pretty quick. I always bring a couple extra power banks, because the way this charger works is that the one that has the least amount of battery, I think it charges first, or whichever one has like the most amount of battery, it charges first. I'm not really sure, but it isolates each one individually and charges them separately. So if you were out trying to do a bunch of stuff with the drone, you probably could get a fourth battery. I'm probably just going to invest in another set of 3, just because I've learned that I burn through batteries pretty quick, because I'm still getting the hang of flying. But that is one thing I wanted to point out, is that even though it says 30 minutes, I don't feel like you fully get that 30 minutes. Also, it'd be kind of impossible to get a full 30 minutes, because at that 30-minute mark, your drone would just shut off and crash, which is not something you want to have happen. The Quickshots, really fast. I haven't tested them all out because it's not something that I think I'm going to use a lot. They have one called Droney, where it locks onto you and it flies forward and up and back, and you can kind of pick the distance anywhere from like 25 to like 50 meters. Has one where it circles around you, has one where it circles and like pushes in as it's going around you, and then it has one where like it kind of like flies up in like a weird tornado spin, and then it had another one. I don't really use Quickshots that much, because one of the things about this drone is it doesn't have the sensors of like the Air S2 or the Mavic Pro 2. I think they're on the second Mavic Pro, I'm not really sure. This thing only really has bottom sensors, and that's mainly for landing capabilities. I have noticed that it does not pick up trees underneath it. It is mainly just sensors for landing, it appears. So when you're using those Quickshots, it doesn't sense what's going on around it. So if you did something like the circle, right, depending on how far or close you are to the target, it's going to depend on the range of how big that circle is. It will smack into a tree. It almost happened to me, and I was like, okay, not doing that. So I use the Quickshots kind of like halfway through. It just depends, again, on location, and that's more of depending on where you're flying and what you're doing with it and things like that. But overall, right, again, as someone who's never flown, never really owned a drone, this thing has been incredibly easy, and not to mention just fun. Even if you're someone that's like, I don't have a YouTube, I don't really want to get videos for Instagram or my Facebook or my Snapchat or whatever. It's like, I was just thinking about getting a drone just to fly it around and have fun. Honestly, some of the places I went, when I went to like this lighthouse and just had a grand old time just flying my drone around this lighthouse, just seeing things from a different angle was a really fun and exciting thing. And just having footage and being like showing it to friends or putting it on your phone and just being like, look what I did. I think to me that's really cool. I had a good time just flying this thing around, just having a heyday. Obviously the footage I'm using, I'm putting in videos. But the thing about how easy this drone is to fly, right? My friend Andrew and I went out to test it the day I got it. We're like, all right, let's see what this is all about. And it's actually the footage that I use in my Wandrd Pouch 11-liter bag review. The intro, I did like a little intro with the drone. He piloted it. He's never piloted a drone before. I'd never piloted a drone before. And yet we were able to get footage that was good enough to put in a video, which just shows you how easy this thing is to fly. The other bonus is with the DJI Fly app, it gives you all these options for tutorials and your first flight and setting it up. It basically will hold your hand and walk you through everything, including on where things are in the app. Give you a walkthrough, like click here to see this and click here to see that. And it just, the ease of access for it is extremely, extremely beneficial, especially if you're someone that's never flown a drone before, again, like myself. So overall, with the Mini 2, I think it is a great beginner drone, but besides just being a beginner drone, it is just a phenomenal drone. I know some of the big YouTubers, the one that I obviously love and follow, Peter McKinnon, this is like one of his main drones. In his What's in My Camera Bag video for this year, this is the drone he's using for the same reason, is that it's easy, it's compact, and it's really, really beneficial for travel. The only downside is this remote. The remote is literally bigger than the drone itself, which unfortunately can be kind of a bummer, but you have the right camera bag and the right spots and pockets for it. It's not that hard to really carry around. It fits really nicely in my Wandrd 11-liter because I only have my M50, 2 lenses, this drone, some extra chargers, and then my little Wandrd tech case that I keep my Pocket 2 and my like GoPro and all the accessories for that in. again, Mini 2, phenomenal drone, really, really nice, fun to use. If you're a YouTuber, if you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to do cool things for Instagram, you can do so much with this. Like, I even filmed a guy working out just in a backyard just to see what it was like, and like just having that like stability of being able to circle around him or keep the shots on, or like following somebody while they're running. Like, it is just so beneficial if you don't have the other gear like a nice gimbal or anything like that to get these shots. You can get really creative with a small and compact drone like this. And to me, that is the main reason that I got this, is because you can see things from a different angle and really have some fun with it. So again, I'm not a professional, I'm not going to go over the specs or anything, but if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the Mini 2 and I'm able to answer those, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to just tell you what I know about it and what I've been doing. Or you can shoot me an email, odiematthewsbags@gmail.com, if you want to have any more tips or tricks or suggestions on bags or travel or anything like that. Hit me up over there. Don't forget to like, subscribe for all that nonsense jazz that you're supposed to put in here. Thank you guys again so much for the support. Don't forget to go enter my giveaway for 1,500 subscribers. It's going on now. I'll throw a card up here. I'll link it down below. That ends in 1 week from when this video comes out. Week and a half after this video comes out, I had to think for a second. So don't forget to go enter that if you want a chance to win a bag. Could be a photography bag, could be a photography bag to hold your Mini 2 that you're gonna go buy. So my last piece of advice about the Mini 2 is, if you're hesitant, if you're thinking about it, if you're like, maybe, do it. Just do it and see how it goes. There's a return window. Just try it out, right? That's my advice on it. I had to finally pull the trigger and get over my fear, and now I'm in love. So my advice, just pull the trigger and just do it. Nike it up and just do it. Please don't sue me, Nike. I will see you next time.